What's up, guys? So today I got a custom project for you guys, custom pair of jeans, but something's smelling a little toasty in here, and I don't think that's normal. So if I die, at least I died doing something I love, and I love you guys. Anyway, so what I've got today is a pair of jeans. These are just from Walmart. I wanted to hit the thrift store instead, but they weren't opened yet, and I wanted to get straight to work, so I wasn't gonna wait for them to open. Just decided to go to the store, to Walmart instead. What I'm gonna be doing is triple layer jeans. So what I'm thinking in my mind is on both legs there's gonna be a big hole, kind of like, you know, when you have some distressing in your jeans and you can see the knee. I want that, but I want the hole to be from like the shin to up here, okay? But I want, instead of it being open and then just seeing skin, I want there to be a pair of jeans under it. And I want that pair of jeans, or that layer of denim, to also be cut and distressed. And then under there, I want there to be a third layer that's just intact. It's not ripped. So it'll be the jeans, like the first base layer of the jeans, right? It'll have some opening and some distressing from here to here. Under it, you're going to be able to see another layer of denim that also has distressing, and then it's going to be in the third. So it's going to be layered distressing. Right now, you may not be able to envision it the way that I do based off the way I'm describing it. I'm trying my best to describe it, but you still might not be able to see what's in my mind's eye. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to lay these out. And I'm gonna figure out how I want the hole to be, because if I just cut straight open like that, then the leg is gonna be, there's not gonna be any style to the opening, to the distress, and it's just gonna be a straight cut, and it's gonna look, you know, just straight edge, no style, no definition, no nothing. So I think I might struggle a little bit with just figuring out how I'm gonna get the jeans cut and distressed. That way they actually look distressed and not just cut open. The smell's getting worse. It smells like someone's just left an iron onto something, like just letting it sit there. If I die, I die. My camera keeps crashing, so I hope it doesn't fucking crash again. So what I'm actually doing now is cutting my jeans. If you've seen my old videos or any of my previous videos, you know that I like to cut the jeans open. That way I can have a lot more room to sew and to work with. If you haven't seen my videos before, it's your first time, I want you to take your jeans and cut them on the inside of the legs, okay? So you're gonna cut them right here on the insides, but you're gonna wanna cut on the seam. So you see right here where they meet? That's where you're gonna cut. And that's gonna give you a lot more freedom and space so that you can, you know, sew, apply your patches, paint, whatever it is that you got going on for your personal project. So here I'm just finishing this up, cutting it from the toe to the crotch, riding flush as much as possible. And you'll see that I have a lot more space to work with. And I'm not done cutting them yet. I still gotta cut the other leg. But as you can see, I've cut the inside on the seam, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and cut the other leg too, and then I'll show you what you're gonna cut after that. Let me show you what I have now that the legs are cut. So as you can see, the jeans are like flat, right? It's giving me a lot more room to work with, like I've mentioned. But now what you're going to want to do is make one last cut from the crotch all the way up to not all the way to the belt loop, but just to right here, okay? And what that's going to do is that's going to open them even more and give you even more space to work with. When you're sewing, or you know, when you're working on a pair of jeans, at least the way that I do them, I think it's good to have more space, you know, because then you're not worrying about the jeans like overlapping like that while you're sewing. Everything is flat. There's no slack. It just makes it better to work with all around. And yeah. So I always recommend to people to cut their jeans like this when they're working on them. And we have so much space to work with now. Now my next step is just going to be figuring out exactly how I'm going to cut the jeans. That way the distressing is distressed, you know, it's not just a clean cut that has no look or like no flavor, no style. Actually, before I do that, I have my legs here that I've cut off from different jeans. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut these open. These are gonna be the under patches or like the under bases. So the reason I'm cutting these first is that it's just so I know how big exactly I want to make my hole. Holes, I should say. So it's gonna be good to get these cut up. That way I can have an idea of what sizes I'll be working with. So here's one of them. And I've cut 4. There's gonna be 2 for each leg. So I have the jeans right here, okay? So what I'm thinking is, these are obviously gonna go under. I'm just placing them on top so I can have an idea. I want a little bit of extra room around it. I don't want to sew exactly like as close to the edge as possible. I'm probably going to give about 1.5 inches of seam allowance. And I'm just going to sew a circle underneath. So that's what I'm going to do actually. Is first I'm going to sew both of these on for each leg. And then I'm going to start cutting and distressing from there. So my first step, get these sewn on for both legs, both patches for both legs. And I've never seen any jeans like this before. It's just something that I'm seeing in my mind. So I might fail. These might be a flop. These might not turn out exactly how I envision them. They might not turn out anything how I envision them, but that's okay. As long as I'm trying to go for these ideas that I'm seeing in my head. And I think that should be the case for you too. Don't be afraid of your projects flopping or not coming into fruition the way you see them. Just be afraid of not trying them at all, because I think ideas come from somewhere, and if you don't claim an idea, I think someone else gets it and they bring that idea to life. That's just from my experience. Sometimes I've had ideas that I was like, oh, that's cool, and then I just let it go away. And then later on, I see someone else implementing it, and I'm like, well, if I would have done it first. But no, don't sleep on your ideas, for real. Write them down, bring them into life, execute them. That's how you get, that's all you gotta do, bro. You know, if you're afraid to take risks, that's risky. Anyways, I'm not trying to be a life coach or anything. I'm just saying that you should act on your ideas. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, now we got these four bases patched, cut up. Now it's time to start applying them onto the jeans. Okay, so I decided to add one patch at a time. I'm gonna sew these on and then add the second layer, and I've added them for both sides. The reason I decided to do one at a time was because they cover different surface areas. These ones are a little smaller, so I just want to make sure that they're both getting sewn on properly. So I'm gonna sew them individually. Okay, so for both legs, I've went and I've sewn both the patches on. Before I actually start cutting and distressing, I'm gonna apply paint. And I want to do it before I start cutting. That way when I'm cutting, okay, because if the pants were already cut and distressed, and I went and tried to apply paint, I would have to try to go around the areas, and I think it's just gonna give it a better chance of laying evenly. Like with these pants, I applied the paint after I sewed the patches on. And you can see how I got like paint right there and right there. So basically all that's gonna do is just prevent any paint from getting on like the distressing or on the other fabrics, because I just want the paint to be on this layer. So it'll just be easier to apply it all first, let it dry, and then start cutting and distressing. So that's what I'm gonna do. Over here I have my drawer with my paints in them. Of course I'm gonna be looking to add more, but for now I think I'm just gonna go with white. I'm gonna need both of them because one of them's running out, and then we're gonna go with red and blue. Classic American combo. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the white first, and then I'm gonna go with the red after, and then I'm gonna go with the blue after that. Ready? So I made a bunch of decisions as I was going. Usually that's how it goes. I find my inspiration as I'm going. But I want to show you guys where I'm at so far. So a lot of distressing, right? And then I added some fine textures, and it also keeps this open. And I added distressing to the last leg as well, so, or the last layer. So these are going to be distressed all the way through, and you're going to be able to see my leg. The other side is completely untouched. So what I'm going to do is just going to add some distressing, obviously. I'm not going to add paint, but I love this like just completely ripped look. It's just all over the place and I love it. Usually my style is very like, I would say like pretty and like fundamental, but here I felt like there's no rules. Like it was just, I just let go, and yeah, a lot of this was just hand distressed. I also used my seam ripper, if that helps you get some of the, you know, threading to come out. So I think one problem I might have with these is just these little strands like coming out a lot as I'm wearing them, but that's alright. I'll just deal with it because these are pretty cool. And anyways, I'm not done yet. Half of it, and I'm gonna do the other half right now. So let's go. Okay, so they're both sides have been done. This side's just not as like sloppy looking as the other side is. Maybe it's the paint that really does it, but they're both done. So I'm gonna sew the pants back together. My first step is flip them inside out, right? And then you're gonna want to sew them back, but I'm gonna start with the back side, okay? Remember when we cut from the crotch to like almost to the belt loop? That's the side that we're gonna be sewing back together first thing. So I'm just gonna pinch them together like that. Line them up. If you have these little sewing clips, that helps a lot, okay? But if not, you can use pins as well, or you can just freehand it. So I'm gonna sew this back together, and then after that, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna sew the front end and the back end of the crotch back together. Okay, so now it's sewn back together. Now for the crotch, very simple. You're just gonna, this is the front end. You can see like the belt opening right here. And then I have the back end right here. So all you're gonna do is just pinch them together and sew them shut. That's it. Okay, just two little lines, one right here, one right here. Or one here, one here. Just two simple lines just to attach them together. And then after that, I'm gonna show you how to do the legs. So first, the crotch. Okay, now all I have to do is sew the legs back together, okay? So what I like to do is I like to align them at the bottom first, okay? So get both sides. Make sure they're pretty as close as you can get. And then I'll use my clips to make sure that they're nice and sturdy along the way, okay? You don't want any slack on it when you're getting them together. All right, you want to make sure they're as tight as possible. Add as much resistance so that there's as least slack as possible. Then I sew from the toe to the crotch. And then I'm gonna do the other leg as well. And then we're gonna flip the jeans inside out, and then we're gonna see what we have. So I'm gonna finish sewing these now. Okay. I'm excited to reveal what we've got. Oh man. This might take me a minute because there's layers of distressing and stuff, so bear with me. Okay, so this is first side's the non-painted side. Okay. Then we have the painted side right here. Yep. Oh wow. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know if I did that right. Yeah. Cool. They're all done. Now it's time to just throw them on and see how they look. I ain't even gonna lie, I'm a little nervous for this one, but oh, my back is hurting. Ooh. Let's do this. Take a look at myself in the mirror. I think they're dope as fuck. Anyways, if you made it to the end, I just want to say thank you for watching, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope this helps you on your projects, and I love you guys.